Sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Put my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Put my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme.
All right, hello everyone, Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and like and share this video. Okay, that's the way you can support the stream absolutely for free. I want to also thank all of you who sent me donations yesterday. Okay, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, and all of that for my birthday. Thank you very much. Okay, and so with that all been said, also, let me say yesterday when I played the video, or I did the video about Big Meech and Blue Da Vinci, I said that Cuffy was the person on Vlad, and I literally had the person's name on the screen. Okay, I think it was Terrence Williams or whatever. But anyway, I saw somebody in the chat say they wanted to know what Cuffy said, so I Googled it real quick. And that's what came up. So I assumed it was Cuffy. And not to mention, I was preoccupied. I wasn't watching the video with you guys when I was letting it play because I had people knocking on the door. I had people coming in here, so I had my mic off. Anyway, that's a lame excuse, but it's the truth. Okay, because when I watched the video back later, I'm like, the guy's name was literally on the screen. What was I thinking? Okay, so anyway, I had a good birthday yesterday. All right, and partially due to you guys. Okay, so thank you. All right, now, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur and Twitter at DGoddess27. And I'll be starting a new TikTok page real soon. Okay, so let's see who's in here. Okay, Buckhorse DC, Miss Sandra G from the land. All right, Greta is here. All hell no, Claudette, Anita Harrell, Chris is here. Okay, Pearlie is in the house. Sweet D, the Inkwell said, Queen, you got a pass. It was your birthday. Thank you. I appreciate it, beloved, for letting me slide. Okay, Jeff ATL, Hot Cocoa is here. All right, let's get into it. Khalid Harleen. Nessie X is here. That Crazy Beach Aries is in the house. I was about to say, do I have any moderators? Okay, at work today? Okay, so with that all being said, let's get into it. And yeah, I only have one moderator in here thus far. Bronze, Most Hated Bronze Flat Power God is in the house. Okay, so Patrick is here. Okay, so shout out to everyone in the chat. I see the lovely T. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. And shout out to my moderators. Okay, there goes Desmond. Desmond said, I'm on vacation resting. Desmond, you may be on vacation from your real job that you get a check for, but honey, you are never on vacation from the queendom. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, so that all being said, hey, Vince, I am. There's another one. All right, Chosen One's here. Okay, so y'all know I love y'all to life. So let's get into it. Before we do, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Like some, everyone, please like and share. And also, if you have not been receiving your notifications, please do your due diligence and make sure, double check to make sure you're still subscribed from the channel. People get unsubscribed every day. I have been unsubscribed from other people's channels as well.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribe oils for your hair at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, Aquarius MC just gifted the channel a $10 super sticker. Thank you, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings, and I really appreciate you. Okay, so let's talk about Diddy, because one of the ex-workers, a male one, says that he wants to talk to the feds about those freak-offs that they were having. And so we're going to get into it. Not to mention Diddy has some more lawsuits. So S-worker wants to tell the feds about freak-offs, according to attorneys. Now, the male S-worker who just sued Diddy for an alleged S assault during a freak-off now wants to help federal prosecutors in the criminal case against the disgraced music mogul. Now, the man's attorney, Eric M. Baum and Adriana Alcade, told TMZ, they said, our client is willing to cooperate with federal prosecutors in connection with the Diddy criminal case. Now, it seems like this situation with our client is a pattern known as freak-off described by the U.S. attorney. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be objective, okay? Let's think about this. Now, the S-workers, some of them coming out suing. Very interesting because at the end of the day, could it be that they actually were assaulted by Diddy? Now, I'm not victim blaming. I'm just going through the motions, and I'm just trying to look at it objectively. Now, could they actually have been assaulted by Diddy? And if so, did they come back and, work for him again to get those checks? Maybe, and this is just my opinion. Now, maybe some of them were involved with instances with Diddy specifically and Cassie. And they know that all of it's going to look real sketchy when the trial starts. Because remember, like I told you all weeks ago, are these S-workers going to say that Cassie was voluntarily or consensual when she was having these relations with them while Diddy sat there and watched? Was she in distress? Was she trying to stop it? What was really going on? And if they say that it wasn't consensual, wouldn't that in fact mean that they were doing something nefarious themselves? Okay, so one way to try to make yourself the victim is to say that you too were assaulted. Now, I'm not saying that's what this person did, but I'm just looking at it from the outside in. Okay, please pay attention. All right, please pay attention. So anyway, but let's continue. Okay, so Sweet D says, happy birthday, Queen. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. And thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so now goes on to say, according to the lawsuit filed Wednesday by the John Doe escort, Diddy contacted the companion service, okay, the escort worked for in Florida, and traveled to New York City to have relations with Diddy and his female companion in a room in the Intercontinental Hotel. So during their sexual encounter, the trio allegedly engaged in behavior similar to what federal prosecutors described as a freak-off in Diddy's original indictment. Here's what I want you all to think about. Now, we can't say that every time they had these freak-offs and they had these S-workers come and working with them, we can't say, you know, that every time things went the same. Okay, because there could have been more illegal substances involved, more alcohol or whatever. Diddy could have been in a good mood sometimes. So he was, you know, just having the relations or just watching and pleasuring himself. Or he could have been in a bad mood and his demons could have been manifested and could have acted crazy and gotten violent. Who knows? But the reason I'm bringing all of this up is because let's not forget that Jonathan Oddie was an S-worker, allegedly, for Diddy and Cassie. Now, he claimed that he had relations with them at least 15 times. Now, he never said anything about violence or anyone not being consensual in these situations, okay? That doesn't mean that it didn't happen with other S-workers, but Jonathan Oddie never mentioned that. And the reason that's important to note is because Jonathan Oddie claims to have sued Diddy in court and won. If you all remember, he said that he sued Diddy for giving him herpes. Okay, you all remember that? He said that he sued Diddy for giving him herpes and that he won. So if he sued Diddy for that, but didn't sue him for S assault or anything else, you know, then I just have questions, okay? So with that all being said, let's continue. So during their sexual encounter, the trio engaged in behavior similar to what federal prosecutors described as a freak-off in Diddy's original indictment. Now, the escort says Diddy ordered him to give oral to the woman for hours while performing degrading acts on her. Our sources say the woman is a high-profile witness connected to the criminal case. This is likely Cassie. Okay, that's what it sounds like. Right now, what's more, the escort said Diddy gave him illegal substances against his will, basically rugged him with a D, okay, with a bottle of water and or baby oil rubbed on his body, causing him to lose control of himself. Now, the escort says that he went to the bathroom, but Diddy followed him inside and violated him from his back door, okay? He says Diddy then said, if I can get Pac hit, what the F do you think can happen to you? See, stuff like that, those kind of little comments just don't really sound like they're true to me. Now, Diddy may have said that, but you have to ask yourself, why would Diddy admit to someone that he had put out a hit on Tupac? And if he did say that, why wouldn't this person, the S worker, why wouldn't they have gone to the police and said that Diddy admitted this to them? Even if they were afraid, they could have anonymously reported it. Okay, they didn't have to say anything about the S assault if they didn't want to, but they could have at the very least reported the information, I would think. Okay, so anyway, I just have questions. Okay, said, do you know what can happen to you? Which prompted him to keep his mouth shut. And so that's his excuse for not saying anything all this time. Okay, so worth noting, in the criminal indictment, there is no allegation Diddy ever assaulted or itemized with an S a male escort or forced illegal substances on them, okay, with a water bottle or baby oil, mind you. Now, and here's the thing. When all of these people were saying, and I did a little research, and I told you guys that it was actually there was actually a report where they were saying that some men who were LGBTQ were being raped, and the people were using GHB inside of a lubricant and stuff like that, right? And baby oil. But here's the thing. The feds claim to have confiscated at least 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube. And so in the superseding indictments, you see, I was waiting to see if they were going to test those things to see if there was any illegal substances in them, as some people were speculating. But at the end of the day, they never said anything about that. Don't you think that if there were illegal substances in that baby oil, okay, that when they put out the superseded indictment, after that stuff had been tested, that they would likely have put that in there because that would have been additional charges, okay? Because what was he doing with all of those bottles with illegal substances in them, okay? But they didn't say anything about that. So I have questions as to whether there was ever anything in the bottles, okay, other than what it was for the freak-offs or the orgies or whatever they were having, okay? So they go on to say, we're told Diddy wanted the S worker to stay in the room for a long time, just like a freak off, which the feds allege sometimes lasted for days. I'm going to tell you something else that's fishy about this story to me. The S worker claims that Diddy made him perform fellatio, okay, or oral on the person, on the female, for hours. That's all he did. That's what he says. That's all he says that he did, for hours. I'm sorry, whose jaws can work that long? Can anyone help me out with that? Can anyone tell me, okay, how somebody's jaws could work literally for hours of doing that? What do y'all think? Do y'all think that sounds plausible? Okay, Claudette, why are you laughing? I'm being serious here. Okay, I have some, all hell dogs laughing. Listen, I am being very serious. You'd have to have some strong arch jaws. Okay, you'd have to have some strong arch jaws to be given oral for hours. Okay, Jeff ATL said they probably ended up with a locked jaw. Sweetie said that's the original Jaws. That crazy bitch Eric said queen, straight up. Okay. At the end of the day, how can you do that for hours? I have several questions. Okay. Hold on, because somebody just gave me a hint. Somebody says, Cosmic Thought says, Queen, when you hide, yes, you can. I'm a victim of child S abuse, and my abuser was on Rugs with a D. Oh, really? Okay. Okay, thanks, beloved. Okay, so I guess that is plausible. I mean, I didn't think it was impossible, but just that's all Diddy wanted to see was somebody down there munching and crunching. Well, hopefully not crunching, but down there munching for hours. If this is all true, it's all nefarious, but let me continue. So anyway, it goes on to say, our sources also say, now this is from TMZ, our sources also say the escort did not see Diddy record the sexual activity as is common in the alleged freak-offs, although he didn't rule out that Diddy surreptitiously videoed the session. Okay, so Diddy's legal team, of course, denies all of this and talks about all the suits being filed or whatever. You know, some of this stuff is starting to sound real crazy. I really don't think they have a good case against Diddy. I really don't. I really don't think they have. All hell no said, I'm crying. Listen, I really don't think they have a good case against Diddy because a lot of this stuff just sounds, this is how it sounds to me. Some of these things that people are now saying with these latter lawsuits that have come out, some of the stuff sounds like they've just stripped information from the headlines and added it to their story. That's what it sounds like to me. I noticed that he was careful to say that he didn't see Diddy recording, okay? Because there is likely no recording because maybe it didn't happen. I'm not saying that it didn't, but that's a possibility. Okay, so Sandra said, unless it's a steak bone, not me. Okay, y'all are terrible. Okay, so anyway, that's what the S worker has said. Now, he's also facing 4 additional lawsuits. Okay, Sean Diddy Combs faces 4, and this came out yesterday, 4 additional sexual assault suits in Gender-Motivated Violence Act. So they say the suits filed in New York all detail similar allegations of S assault, with abusers claiming they were rugged with a D and subsequently subjected to S acts against their will. The GMVA, which is the Gender Motivated Violence Act, was granted an amendment in 2022. This allowed survivors whose claims were previously, okay, we already know about the time bar that they, allowed people to go past. Now, the first suit against Combs comes from Aristalia Benitez, who lived in New York City in 1995 at the age of 20, a sophomore at New York University. She was employed by Pepe Jeans, a Tommy Hilfiger's sister brand, and was invited by Andy Hilfiger to a party at a restaurant where Combs was present. Now, and also, here's what I want you all to think about. When I say it doesn't sound like they have a good case against Diddy, now, a lot of the people filing these lawsuits, these civil suits, remember, most of this information that we're going over and reporting is from civil suits, not criminal. But as far as the criminal case is concerned, it just doesn't sound like they have a lot of evidence as far as I can see. Okay, but anyway, let's continue. So goes on to say she was employed by Pepe Jeans, a Tommy Hilfiger sister brand, and was invited by Andy Hilfiger to a party at a restaurant where Combs was present. Now, she was seated next to Combs and was given a non-alcoholic drink, after which Combs allegedly forcibly groped and fondled her breast, butt, and privates under her clothes. Now, she claims to have been rendered unconscious and awoke in the back of a cab hours later with no recollection of how she got there. Now, the fare had been paid and she noticed her groin area was sore. Upon belief, the suit claims that she was penetrated, her vajayjay was penetrated by defendant Combs and his associates while unconscious. Now, you know what the problem with that story is? I haven't read the lawsuit, but just from listening to this bit, it just, she's saying that she was penetrated by Diddy and his associates, but she also said that she was rugged with a D and that she had no recollection. Now, I want you all to pay attention because if these things go to court, because, you know, sometimes these civil cases will go to court, they won't be settled. But so if this goes to court, they're going to have several questions. Okay, because how do you not remember, but then you know that happened? Okay, so anyway, and who did it? Because she specifically says Diddy and his associates. So how would you know who did it if you have no recollection and you were unconscious? Okay, that's all I'm saying. Now, another plaintiff, Justin Gooch, claims that he was 16 years old in 1999 while living with his grandparents in New Jersey. In January, he visited the popular New York City club Tunnel, where he met Diddy. Now, Combs allegedly invited Gooch to one of the club bathrooms, and once inside, it seems like Diddy, if these things are true, if these allegations, it seems like Diddy may like to do things in the bathroom, because that's been several accusers. There's been several accusers that have talked about going into bathrooms with him. Okay, but anyway, so goes on to say that he was invited, or the person was invited into the bathroom, and once inside a stall, he gave him ketamine, proceeding to penetrate his back door without consent. And after the incident, Combs apparently asked, "That wasn't so bad, was it?" I mean, this is all so crazy. Now, Leslie Cockrell. Now, notice that these people are given their names. Okay, Leslie Cockrell filed a third lawsuit regarding an incident that occurred in 1999 when she was 24 years old. Now, she ran a scouting business in the music industry, and during that summer, she went to one of Combs's parties in the Hamptons along with the artist Jay Stone, thinking it was a good networking opportunity. Now, at the party, Combs offered her a drink and touched her as he gave her a tour of the house, which was packed inside and outside as well, with naked people who were engaging in activities together. Now, after that, sounds like the Bacchanalias from back in the days of Rome that they claimed Diddy was also engaging in, which are called Wild King Nights and Freak-Offs. So after her second drink, she began to feel lightheaded and was guided to lie in a room by herself. Drifting in and out of consciousness, she woke up to Combs penetrating her vajayjay without consent. When she came to, she was sore and was told not to tell anyone what happened. You know, one thing about it is these stories all sound the same. Okay, that's one thing to pay attention to. A lot of these stories sound the same. Now, a fourth lawsuit was filed against Combs and VH1 by Kendra Hafani, who worked for a designer showroom in Los Angeles in 2007. Now, is it that Busby, after all this stuff that Busby has gotten himself into when he didn't have the proper documentation to be practicing in the Southern District of New York, and then also, you know, the other things that have been problematic with Diddy's team accusing him of a series of violations, and also all of his people previously being listed as John and Jane Does, now names are coming out. Okay, so is that maybe why he's given names? to try to make his cases seem more credible. Okay, that's what it seems like. So anyway, I mean, that's if these are Busby's clients, because it doesn't necessarily say, but I'm assuming these are Busby's because he did say that he had so many to put out. Okay, so anyway, now she applied to a new VH1 show called I Want to Work for Diddy and was selected, okay, moving to New York that year. Now, one night she was invited to an after party where she was led to a back room where Combs was with other individuals and took a drink that she believes was laced. Now, she sat down next to Combs, who allegedly guided her head down to have her perform fellatio on him. Now, she passed out and awoke to Combs sitting at the foot of the bed, knowing she was rugged with a D and that her vajayjay was sore. Okay, she claims that she later invited Diddy or Combs. She was later invited to Combs's LA mansion where she was subsequently abused. Now, here's the thing. After all of that, she went to his mansion. Why would you go anywhere near him? See, this is the thing that I don't understand about some of the accusers. This is the same type of instance there was with Bill Cosby. There were women accused of Bill Cosby who claimed to have visited him numerous of times after the fact, had him signing, putting in references or use him as a reference for jobs they got. One woman claims that he paid for her college. Why would you want anything from someone who abused you in this way? But anyway, I digress. And so representatives for Combs responded in a request for comment saying no matter how many lawsuits are filed, especially by individuals who refuse to put their own names behind their claims, it won't change the fact that Diddy didn't do anything, as they always say. Y'all know the routine. So the filings came shortly after a male escort sued Combs over accusations of assault that allegedly occurred in 2012. Combs is currently detained at the Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. Okay, and so don't forget that the trial actually starts May the 5th. Okay, unless they postpone it or whatever, or change the date. And another thing is Diddy, has teamed up coming for Busby just like Jay-Z did. Okay, Diddy and Jay-Z come out swinging over alleged egregious misconduct by a lawyer behind dozens of cases against Bad Boy Records founder. Okay, so I'm not going to read all of this because a lot of it's stuff that I've already told you about. But I'll start right here. So after a graphic October 20 lawsuit named Combs for the alleged 2000 rape with mention of a male celebrity A and a female celebrity B, and Emmanuel Urquhart and Sullivan, representing anonymous celebrity and public figures who reside in Los Angeles, went after the hyperbolic Busby for extortion in LASC on November the 18th. And then on December the 8th, the Texas attorney refiled his initial suit, claiming that Jay-Z was celebrity A. Now, denying he had anything to do with it, something so heinous in nature as what he and Combs were accused of, Jay-Z outed himself as the figure. Okay, then of course went on to accuse Busby of bribery, extortion, and all of that. Now, Judge Epstein hasn't made a ruling as of yet, and the next hearing is on the calendar for late March. Now, that hearing would likely be on Jay-Z's defamation suit, okay, that's supposed to be going forward. Okay, Jay-Z told, pushing back against Busby's own efforts to have the West Coast case killed, Jay-Z told in the court in February 10th, declaration. Okay, I guess it should. This is a typo clearly. Okay, but anyway, in his declaration filed February the 10th, the career-ending accusations of assaulting a 13-year-old girl ripped into his business and his family, the former to the tune of $20 million a year and a loss of reputation. So Judge Epstein hasn't ruled, in the filing as of yet, and the next hearing is scheduled for March. Yet it seems pretty clear that the dispute with Busby is now very personal, still on, and Jay-Z wants to take this as far as it will go. Because remember, Jay-Z said he wants to set a precedent, okay, so that people don't get accused by frivolous lawsuits, okay, have frivolous lawsuits filed on them that could damage their reputation in the future. Now, in that pursuit, the Empire State of Mind performer may be receiving some assistance from his former co-defendant, Diddy, on the East Coast. Paperwork placed in the Southern District of New York, docket late Tuesday in the 2004 S assault civil case filed back in October by Jane Doe, now identified as Candace McCrary. Okay, so now we have Jane Doe's name, Candace McCrary, by Combs' legal team, slammed Busby as having presented a false picture of his ability to practice in the jurisdiction where he has about a dozen cases against the much accused and currently incarcerated Diddy. Now they say, in our collective decades of practice, undersigned counsel have never opposed a pro hoc vice application, and we do not do so lightly here. Now remember, I told you all this already because it was basically in the filings that I read to you the other day. Now Tremonte, they go on to say, this is what Diddy's attorney, Cher Tremonte, okay, and others said in an opposition memorandum to Judge Mary Kay Viscosil, saying, but Busby's egregious misconduct warrants denial of the privilege of appearing in this district at all. And they added that the Texans' February 24 former pro hoc vice request, that should not be allowed to be in court, okay, in the jurisdiction where he cannot practice. Okay, not for the first time, Busby himself pushed back a few days ago against Diddy's claims or his team's claims and their criticisms. Okay, the attorney posted a Lone Star flag flying letter stating that he has the right to practice in the Empire State. You already know that because I read that to you. Okay, but however, perhaps splitting legal hairs, Busby made no mention of the fact that a lawyer must seeking individual admission to be allowed to appear in district court in the Eastern and Southern districts of New York. Now, in his posting, Busby left out that on February the 13th, the day before the action against Diddy and Jay-Z was dropped, the chair of the Committee on Grievances for the Southern District of New York publicly denied Busby's request for admission. Busby did mention in his request, February the 24th, in the application for pro hoc vice for McCrary, that he was recently denied admission to the bar of the Southern District of New York based on in part on a grievance raised against him by lawyers for Combs and Carter. Now, he does not explicitly state, as the Committee on Grievances did, that he was denied admission for appearing in several Southern District of New York cases against Diddy without having previously sought admission. Now, remember, I told you all this as well the other day. I said he's lying by omission because he's not stating all the facts. The judge absolutely ordered him that when he filed for his next pro hoc vice to attach that letter of denial, okay, to it. And then he has supposed to give reasons as to why he was denied. So perhaps knowing he will face challenges on all the other New York cases against Diddy that he's involved in, Busby also did not seem to mention that the Committee on Grievances demanded that he must attach their order denying his admission to practice in the district to ant pro hoc vice motion or petition. In that vein, Combs' attorneys go on to say in Tuesday's opposition memo, they say Busby's motion for the admission pro hoc vice should be denied. Okay, we already know that information because I've already read it. Okay, and Busby didn't even bother to respond to any requests for comments when they wanted to talk to him about the latest filings. All right, and so anyway, you know, here's the thing. I just want to see how many of these cases, these civil cases against Diddy, are going to stick. How many of these are going to stick? That's what I want to know. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's talk about Gene Hackman, because this is all so sad and clearly nefarious. I almost couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it yesterday, because Gene Hackman is one of my favorite actors, okay? Has been one of my favorite actors for years. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? All right, for those of you who don't know who Gene Hackman is, and maybe you've been living under a rock, no less, Gene Hackman played in the movie The Unforgiven. He played in Mississippi Burning. Okay, he was Lex Luthor in Batman, and just a very notable and a very prestigious actor for decades. Okay, so let's talk about it, because there's a whole lot of information, and they still don't know quite frankly, the cause of the deaths of him and his wife, but it's all real suspicious because, in fact, the daughter was thinking that possibly it was death by carbon monoxide poisoning. And, that seemed plausible when you first hear about it because they say that he and his wife were both found dead. They say that one of the dogs was found dead. But then when the fire department came in and did an inspection, they didn't find any traces. Okay, so they had the fire department come in, and they also had another team of people come in, and they didn't find any carbon monoxide. But also, it really wouldn't make sense for that to have been the cause anyway, because there were 2 more dogs on the property. One of the dogs was running freely outside, and another one was right near the dead dog. And so, if it had been carbon monoxide, likely all of the dogs would have been dead. Okay, and so let's talk about it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play the 911 call from where the person who found them made the call, sounding very concerned. And also this person said, hold on, I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. The person said that the door was unsecured. The door to the home was open and unsecured. And also they talked about how his sunglasses, he had sunglasses on apparently that fell off when he hit the floor or whatever. So maybe he was on his way out of the house to go somewhere or whatever. And there was also pills spilled out. And, they're speculating that maybe one of them died and the other one couldn't deal with it. And so they took themselves out. We don't know, but there's a whole lot of information that we still need. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Were just released. We have them. We want to play them here. Take a listen.
Are you with the patient now?
Yeah, I'm over at their property. There's no address here. So I have to meet the ambulance or the police, whoever, down at the gatehouse. I'll bring them up here.
Okay. How old is the patient?
I have no idea.
You don't know? Okay, that's fine. Is the patient a male or a female?
A female and a male, probably. I don't know, sir. Just send somebody up here real quick.
Okay. Are they awake?
I have no idea.
Are they breathing?
I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in. But I see them. She's laying down on a floor from the window.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the first time I've heard that there, and you can just tell in the voice of the caller there how frantic the nature is upon finding the bodies of Gene Hackman and his wife, 63-year-old Betsy Arakawa. Well, Santa Fe law enforcement officials updating all of us today on what they found and what they'll be looking for going forward. Let's watch.
What's the latest on the investigation into the death of Gene Hackman and his wife?
We've struggled to release as much information as we have. There may be a press release that comes out this afternoon. The search warrant was executed just before 10 o'clock p.m. last night. And so they've been working diligently through the night and starting again in the morning to completely process the scene. And so we're still in the preliminary steps of the investigation. There's not a lot of new information that's available, but we will try to include that in our press release this afternoon as soon as the investigators hopefully are finished processing the scene.
Can you confirm if they have been deceased for a long period of time? I was told maybe a week or two.
All I can say is they have been deceased for quite a while. That's a determination that's better suited for OMI and the experts, but it sounds like they had been deceased for a while, and I don't want to take a guess in reference to how long that was.
Who found them? Was it these 2 maintenance workers, I believe?
So from what I understand, there was a gentleman that was doing some pest control work that had gone to the Hackman residence. And he noticed that they weren't home, which was odd, I guess, and as far as he was concerned. He made contact with a security officer that was there, either patrolling or in the subdivision, and then it was a security officer that went to the house and had discovered the individuals in the home.
You guys are ruling out foul play, though.
We're not ruling it out. What I did state was there was no obvious sign or indication of a foul play. There was no immediate sign of foul play. Haven't ruled that out yet. This is an investigation, so we're keeping everything on the table. I think the autopsy is going to tell us a lot, and any evidence that we collect, but I haven't ruled any of that out yet.
Can you talk about the carbon monoxide aspect? I know they tested for that.
Yeah, so obviously it's not I wouldn't say odd, but it's not normal to find two people deceased in the residence. That's concerning. And then there was also a dog that was in a kennel that was also found deceased. We don't know the cause of that, obviously, but on our experience and working on cases like this, that is a possibility. Because of that, we called in the fire department, we called in P&M to go through the house, do some testing to figure out if it was even safe for our officers to go in and process the scene and execute the warrant. They stated that it was safe. I don't have the details of exactly what they located or what they didn't locate. It was determined that it was safe. We had been going in and out of the house. I don't know if that affects, if there was a concentration of any gas, including carbon monoxide. So, that's yet to be determined.
What did it say to you that the front door was open when their bodies were discovered?
Yeah, they were home. So, I don't know if that was, if it was left ajar. There was no indication of a struggle. There was no indication of anything that was missing from the home or disturbed. That would be indication that there was a crime that had occurred. There was no indication of that. As far as, there could be a multitude of reasons why the door was open.
Obviously, a very high-profile case. You're getting attention from all over the world. How does the department handle that?
The same way we handle every other case, with caution and with facts. We want to make sure that we get the investigation completed properly, and we want to release the proper information. And sometimes that takes time. And so I just ask people that, and in the media, to be patient. We will release as much information as we can when the time is right and when they're factual.
So just to clarify again, right now you guys aren't leaning one way or another. The investigation is completely open to the cause of their deaths?
Yes, it is.
In your experience, Sheriff, have you ever come across something like this before in your county?
Me personally, there have been cases. We investigate deaths all the time. Some are natural causes, some are criminal. And so, we have a great investigative team, and I can guarantee you that they're going to work this case. They're going to look at every aspect, and try to figure out the exact cause. And I think the autopsy is going to be key, and the toxicology. But again, in my experience, that could take a while. And so I just ask that people be patient. There's rumors and people, I think, coming to their own conclusions. And I just say, just wait for the facts.
There were two other dogs found at the home alive, correct?
Yes.
Where were they found?
Well, they had access to in and out of the house. Obviously the door was open. I don't know, again, the reason for that. I think there was a dog door where they had access to come in and out of the house. So they had access in the house. The other dog didn't. He was in a kennel or a crate, however you want to explain that. It's concerning that everyone in the house, including the dog, is deceased.
Do you know the last time that anybody heard from Hackman or his wife?
We're still trying to make that determination.
The pills that were found next to his wife, those were prescribed to her?
I don't know that off the right now. I know that there was some pills that were located. I don't know. I won't comment on what they were exactly. That information will be passed to OMI, so that'll help them make the determination. And so I don't have the exact information on the pills right now.
Is there still an investigation going on at the scene?
Yes.
Any anticipation on how long that'll take?
however is necessary, however much time is necessary. We want to do a complete and thorough investigation. So thank you.
Anything else?
No, I don't.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions? Thank you. All right.
All right. So Santa Fe County law enforcement officials telling us that.
Okay, so like I said, that is very sad. My prayers and condolences for Gene Hackman and his family and all of his fans and all of that. And so very sad set of circumstances. And of course, there's going to be, this definitely, in my opinion, warrants further investigation. Okay, so they've conducted a preliminary autopsy, and that hasn't given them a whole lot of details. And for those of you who don't know, a preliminary autopsy is just like the initial examination of the body after the person dies. That just basically includes a visual exam, viewing medical records, and taking samples, things like that. And the results sometimes from a preliminary autopsy can help them to determine if there is a more in-depth autopsy that's needed. Okay, so that all being said, very unfortunate set of circumstances. Now, let's go to what his daughter had to say. And by the way, like I told you all, their bodies were found mummified, okay, in the process of mummification. Now, they initially reported that it was just the wife who was found, whose body was mummified, okay? There's like 4 stages of decomposition. Okay, so let's talk about it. Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, were found mummified. But what does that actually mean? Now, the 95-year-old film star Gene Hackman and his 63-year-old wife, Betsy, and one of their dogs were sadly found dead on Wednesday, February the 27th. Oh, he had to die on my birthday, honey. Please pay attention. Okay, 2 maintenance workers discovered the bodies in the couple's home in Santa Fe. Actually, that's incorrect because the 27th was yesterday, which was a Thursday. And so not on a Wednesday. Okay, so I think that should be Thursday rather than Wednesday. Okay, so anyway, clearly a typo. Now, 2 maintenance workers discovered the bodies in the couple's home in Santa Fe. A report said Gene Hackman and his wife's body showed signs of being mummified. Okay, so let's talk about exactly what that means. So Variety saw an application for a search warrant. Now, this document includes details of how the bodies were found. Betsy Arakawa was found on the bathroom floor. A prescription pill bottle was opened on the counter and pills were scattered about. A space heater was near her head. The maintenance workers found Hackman in the mud room, an area next to the kitchen, for leaving dirty shoes and coats. A German Shepherd dog was sadly found in a bathroom cupboard about 3 to 5 meters away from Betsy. 2 healthy dogs were also found, one inside near Arakawa and another running around outside. Okay, so the dog was near the wife, not the dead dog. I don't know how to mix that up. Okay, so anyway, the application for the search warrant says that Betsy's body showed obvious signs of death, body decomposition, bloating in her face, and mummification in both hands and feet. Gene Hackman's body was similar and consistent with a female decedent. There were no signs of external trauma. Okay, so with that all being said, I mean, the theory that perhaps one of them died, which would likely have been Gene. He was 95 years old. Okay, maybe Gene Hackman passed away and his wife, maybe she just didn't want to deal with it. Let me get to my super chats really quickly. Mally C says, probably because cameras are not allowed in the bathroom. Happy belated birthday. Well, thank you, beloved. And you're talking about in the case of Diddy, when I said a lot of these accusers are saying that they were taken into bathrooms before being assaulted by Diddy. Now, that's a good theory. Okay, right, because there's no cameras in there. Okay, that could be a reason, beloved. Thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, Witty T, thank you for your contribution to the channel as well, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. So what exactly does mummification mean? It means a body has been preserved after death, okay, either intentionally or accidentally. Now, the body doesn't decay at a normal rate. The term doesn't only refer to bodies that have been wrapped in bandages, like the ancient Egyptians, okay? But because that's what we usually think of when we hear about somebody being mummified, okay? So bodies can be mummified if they're exposed to very low temperatures or very low humidity or little air or even some chemicals. So in the case of Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa, the term mummified seems to mean their hands and feet had not decayed in the same manner as other parts of their body. And the investigators don't know why that is. That just sounds very strange. Okay, they were in the stages of decomposition, but their hands and feet were not in the same stages as the rest of the body. That's very unusual. Okay, now the sheriff, Aiden Mendoza, said the couple seemed to have been dead for quite a while. The two maintenance workers hadn't seen them for 2 weeks, but usually didn't communicate with them in person. They said, we don't know any more information yet about how the pair died. Wow. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about what the family said, because the latest update, I do believe, is how they released a statement. And the daughter, we'll go to the daughter first, because she said she hadn't spoken to her father in months, which is strange to me. I mean, I guess it's just me, because if your father's 95 years old, when someone gets that, becomes that up in age, I would think that their children would check on them literally every week. Okay, I mean, that's just me. But anyway, Gene Hackman's youngest daughter has spoken out about her father's health in the months leading up to his death. Leslie Ann Hackman, who's 58 years old, revealed on Thursday that she hadn't talked to the Oscar winner and her stepmother, Hackman's wife, in a couple of months before their passings, but said the Unforgiven star was in very good physical health up until the end. So, hold on, you guys. These pop-ups are being nefarious. Now, the two and one of the 3 dogs were found dead. Okay, we already know that. So Hackman was 95. His wife that he married, this was his second wife, he married her in 1991. She was a classical pianist, and she was 65 years old. Now, in an interview with the Daily Mail, Leslie said that she and the rest of the family are still processing the news and awaiting updates on the cause of death for both her father and the stepmother. Leslie and her older sister, Elizabeth Jean Hackman, who's 63, speculate that their dad and stepmom may have died from a carbon monoxide leak. Well, we see that that's likely not the case at this point. Leslie, who described herself as having a close relationship with her dad, said there was no indication that there was a problem with his health before his passing. Now, despite his age, they say she says he was in very good physical condition. Okay. And also another movie he played in that you all might know, The French Connection. Some of you who are, from my generation, but let me continue. Okay, she says he liked Pilates and yoga, and he was continuing to do that several times a week. So if he was doing Pilates and yoga, honey, I'm gonna tell you right now, 95 years old, doing Pilates and yoga, okay. Well, he seemed like that would make me speculate that he was in pretty good health. She said so he was in good health, and she continued while sharing that Hackman's death was not terribly shocking because he was 95 years old after all. So the youngest of Hackman's 3 children, whom he shared with his ex-wife, Faye Maltese, Leslie explained that she hadn't seen the actor or her stepmother in a few months, as she lives hundreds of miles away from New Mexico and California. I'm sorry, ma'am, but there's phones. Okay, you could have called. Okay, we were close. This is what she says. I hadn't talked to him for a couple of months, but everything was normal and everything was good. Of her father's relationship with his wife, she said they had a wonderful marriage, and I give credit to his wife, Betsy, for keeping him alive. Now, she says Betsy took a very, very good care of him and was always looking out for his wealth or for his health. So I am appreciative to her for that, and I'm very saddened by her passing. Leslie plans to head to New Mexico, once she speaks to the cops in Santa Fe, saying we need to wait and find out whatever information from the police. We weren't expecting to have to go out there and go through the house and all of that. Now, the Burge Kate star's daughter went on to say that, so we have some work cut out for us. But yeah, we'll be going out to New Mexico. Now, earlier on Thursday, Leslie Elizabeth and Hackman's granddaughter, Annie, confirmed the news of his and his wife's deaths in a statement. It is with great sadness that we announce the passing of our father, Gene Hackman, and his wife, Betsy. He was loved and admired by millions around the world for his brilliant acting career, but to us, he was always just dad and grandpa. We will miss him sorely and are devastated by the loss. Now, in a press release issued Thursday, the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office confirmed that there were no apparent signs of foul play at the home where Hackman and Arakawa were found. However, according to a police affidavit, law enforcement noted that the deaths were suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. The affidavit also revealed that the door to the couple's multi-million-dollar home was unsecured and open, but that there was no sign of forced entry or theft when the police arrived. Law enforcement stated in the document that an open orange prescription pill bottle and pills were scattered around the room where Arakawa was found deceased, and the dog as well. Autopsies were performed on both Arakawa and Hackman, according to the sheriff's press release, and carbon monoxide and toxicology tests were requested for both individuals. Now, when they're saying autopsies were performed, those are the preliminary autopsies. Regular autopsies will be performed, but the results, it's going to take a while before they come back. You know, it could be 4 to 6 weeks before those are done. So before they get any more answers. And there was also no signs of external trauma to either of the deceased per the release, which added that the official results of the autopsy and toxicology reports are pending and the investigation remains open. All right, so like I said, that's very sad, okay? Very, very sad. And this is him in a picture from the movie Mississippi Burning. That's one of my favorite movies that he played in. That's another scene from Mississippi Burning. And if you haven't seen that movie, you must live under a rock. Okay, now before we roll up out of here, I have to tell you all about this story. I actually meant to tell you all about this story days ago, but it kept slipping my mind. But this is absolutely crazy to me, and I want you all to please pay attention. Okay, because this man murdered somebody and ate a part of their brain. But guess what? Now he walks amongst us. Okay, now he walks among the free. So let's get into it, because this is all crazy as far as I'm concerned. Okay, this man should, in my opinion, should never be able to walk the streets. Okay, should never. This man was a whole cannibal. All right, so let's talk about it. Connecticut cannibal killer granted conditional release decade after eating homeless victims' eye and brain. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. This is why I'm about to start my true crime series. Okay, so with that all been said, and by that I mean my book. Okay, you all know, or you should know, because I told you all a couple of times, that I'm working on a book about a serial killer. All right, and this story right here, this is a type of story that I would like to write about as well. So let's talk about it. A confessed killer institutionalized after murdering a homeless man and eating parts of his body in a Connecticut cemetery could soon be walking among us again. And local politicians are none too happy about it. Tyree Smith is his name, dubbed the Cannibal Killer by local journalists. Now, he was granted a conditional release Friday by the Nutmeg State Psychiatric Security Review Board, meaning that he'll be allowed to leave Connecticut Valley Hospital in Middletown for supervised jaunts. This is very concerning to me. I don't know what the rest of you are thinking about this, but this is very concerning to me. Now, the decision was made after doctors who've been treating Smith said he's been fully rehabilitated thanks to medications that quelled the voices in his head. Oh, really? Okay, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. They said medications that quell the voices in his head. Let me tell you something. Okay, what voices are they talking about? Because in my opinion, what he did was the work of demons, okay? Demonic possession. That's what it sounds like to me. Now, the voices he heard, if they were in fact demons, like I think they were, honey, no amount of medication is going to help that. Okay, somebody with that type of sickness needs deliverance. Okay, they need help from the Most High in Jesus. Okay, but anyway, now the decision was made after doctors who have been treating Smith said he's been fully rehabilitated. I don't see how that could happen. Okay, that's crazy to me, but let me continue. However, Republican State Senator Paul Cicarella said he doesn't buy it. Okay, and that Smith should not be allowed out into the community. Murder and cannibalism and release in the same sentence, he says. Yeah, that's a problem. That's concerning to me. Well, it's concerning to me too. Now, in 2013, Smith was committed to Connecticut Valley Hospital for 60 years after a 3-judge panel found him not guilty by reason of insanity in the 2011 killing and cannibalization of Angel Gonzalez, age 43. Smith admitted to killing Gonzalez, who was homeless, with an axe and inside an abandoned home in Bridgeport before removing parts of his brain, one of his eyeballs, and several organs. Now, he then consumed the body parts at Lakeview Cemetery, washing them down with what? Hold on. Washing them down with sake. What the hell is that? Does anybody know what that is? Hold on. Let me look that up real quick, honey, and say what? Washing it down with sake, S-A-K-E. Hold on. Oh, I just thought about something. It's not sake, it's sake. Ew, is he serious? Yeah, he's definitely demon possessed. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. It's a Japanese liquor. I actually had it at Benihana's one time, almost made me choke. Okay, sake. That's what it is. I thought it was spelled differently, maybe an asterisk or something. But anyway, goes on to say he ate the man's eye and part of his brain and then washed it down with sake. And this was in a cemetery. Okay, now Gonzalez's sister-in-law, Talithia Frazier, spoke during Friday's hearing and urged the board to keep Smith inside the hospital, saying, how do we really know he's not going to do this again? Now, this is what his own family member says, okay? And I have several questions. He had no remorse for killing Angel. Now, Smith, who was diagnosed as schizophrenic, will first receive a day pass or day passes, but will be confined to the hospital's grounds. As he continues to make progress, he'll receive more privileges like supervised off-site visits. Connecticut politicians like Cicarella and State Senator Henry Martin, as well as Heather Summers and Stephen Harding, said they fear Smith could pose a public threat and should he stop taking his medication. See, this is all crazy as hell. Okay, here's the thing. Even if they did give him some medicines to quell the voices in his head, how do they know? How can they guarantee that he's going to take them? Because there's been a myriad of cases that I've covered when I was in college and stuff about schizophrenic patients who didn't take their medications and what happened to them. Okay, and it was all nefarious. Okay, there was one man who stopped taking his medicine. He went and got I think it was an AK-47. No, it was a sawed-off shotgun. Went into the home and killed everybody. Okay, because he wasn't taking his meds. So do you think it's good for them to have this man walking around amongst everybody else? Okay, even if it isn't demons, even if it is just voices literally in his head because he has mental health issues, this is all problematic as far as I'm concerned. Okay, now they say this terrible decision puts public safety in jeopardy and is yet another terrible message to send to CT violent crime victims and their families. This person should never be out. Okay, this is what they said in a statement. We are dumbfounded at this injustice. This is absolutely crazy. Okay, this is absolutely egregious. This man should never be out and has a life. Hold on, let me show you all some more pictures of him. I mean, I just can't fathom why they would do it. He's only been in there for 10 years, and they said 60 years. Okay, so he's cured that quick. Look at him. Clearly looks nefarious. This is his victim here, Angel Gonzalez, who was only 43 years old. Bless his heart. May he rest in peace, and condolences to his family. And this is Gonzalez's sister-in-law. And I'm sorry, I misspoke. I mistakenly was thinking that it was the killer's sister-in-law who was saying that he should never be out and saying this was an injustice and how do they know he won't do it again and how he had no remorse. But this is actually the victim's sister-in-law. Okay? But I have to agree with her nonetheless. This man should not be out walking the streets. What do y'all think about this? Okay, Sandra said he looks like a big crazy dude. Keep him in Connecticut because Mr. and Mrs. Smith unload in Louisiana. Okay. Queen Nina Starr says, what happened to keeping these mad people locked away for life? I mean, this just absolutely makes no sense to me. I don't know why. And the thing that he did, the crime that he committed was so egregious and so heinous and demonic in nature. Okay? Why would they let him out? He didn't just kill somebody. He killed them in a very heinous manner. Okay, then went on to eat their body in a cemetery and drink Japanese liquor. Yeah, that's real crazy. That's real crazy. J Money says they locking us up and freeing them. Exactly. Please make that make sense. So anyway, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Everyone, please feel free to like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, and I will be back later, but also don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. Okay, especially if you have not been receiving your notifications. Queen Sam says Trump is worried about criminals coming from other places. We have them right here. Yes, we absolutely do. And in fact, Trump is one. Okay, don't y'all find it interesting? Don't y'all find it interesting? Trump is one himself. Okay, Vince I Am says he and his legion of demons need to sit down somewhere. Vince I Am, now you know you are so wrong for that. Okay, they absolutely do. I mean, look at him. Whew. Anyway, this is all crazy. If I had to represent him as an attorney, I would be doing the same thing Diddy's attorney did, getting the hell up out of Dodge, okay? Like Anthony Rico did Diddy. I'd have to go. I could not. All right. So anyway, that all been said, listen, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Keep your notifications on because I'll be back later. And in the meantime, between time, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle? You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got